We are less than 100 days away from the election, and just 8 days ago, Vice President Kamala Harris became the likely Democratic presidential nominee. In that short period, the Harris campaign says it has raised $200 million, some of it through massive fundraising Zoom calls, one of which attracted, reportedly 200,000 attendees, making it the largest Zoom call meeting in history. To put all this fundraising in perspective, Biden's reelection campaign raised $51 million for the entire month of April. Harris's team says 66% of the donations came from first-time donors. More than 170,000 new volunteers signed up to support the Harris campaign. For more on this, CBS News chief election and campaign correspondent Robert Costa joins me now. Bob, before we get to Harris and what's happening with her, I want to start with something that Donald Trump said. You've covered him so long and so closely. So let's start with something he said recently to an event with Christian conservatives, and I'll ask you a question on the other side.
Get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote.
I've attended a lot of social conservative gatherings. I've never heard anyone refer to them as my beautiful Christians, but that's not the question, Bob. The question is, some have interpreted this as, on the one hand, the former president making an inflated boast, as he often does, about every possible problem will be solved once I'm in office. Others have heard it as an admission that basically there will be no more elections because the president has an affinity for authoritarianism. How do you, given your experience in reporting, how do you read it?
John, good to be with you. Former President Trump is someone who has always been focused on winning and winning for himself. I remember in 2016 when he kept being urged by New Jersey Governor Chris Christie to work on the transition project, to try to think through some appointees. He said, no, no, no. My entire focus is not on that. It would be in some way jinxing my chances if I fixate on anything except winning the election. And you see here, he's not focused on the democratic system of this country or the history and importance of voting. It's about rallying evangelical voters to make sure they show up at the ballot box this November and give him a second term in the White House. And some voters might hear this phrase and this kind of talk and hear incoherence. Some might hear a disregard for the American voting system, and he's not putting an emphasis on voting, it seems, in 2028 or 2032. But it's hard to read anybody's mind, especially former President Donald Trump. And you see here, just at the very least, it's evident someone who is so focused on trying to get his core coalition and core voters to show up because he knows that's the only way to win. And he is someone who has tested the bounds of constitutional power in this country, pressuring his own vice president to overturn the election in January of 2021. So the fear among his critics is it's not unwarranted when they hear a quote like this. At the same time, talking to Trump allies, they sometimes don't know what he's talking about when he makes these kind of statements.
Let me ask you about his vice presidential choice. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said on Sunday on Face the Nation that picking JD Vance was, quote, one of the best things Trump ever did for Democrats. Now, obviously, that's spin. You're not going to have a Democratic majority leader say it was a great idea for the Republican. But what's your reporting tell you about how the JD Vance pick is playing out? Is it working in some ways, not working in others? What's happening?
Well, objectively, it's not playing out well in some corners of social media. He is being ridiculed for past statements he has made. He is being sharply criticized for talking about childless Americans and why do they have prominence in the American political system. This has raised the ire of not only Democrats, but some Republicans and independents who say this kind of talk is politically unhelpful and perhaps offensive to many, many people. At the same time, inside the Trump campaign, there's not real concern about Vance because this entire campaign, in their view, is about Trump. And the whole Vance pick comes down to somebody who could help in Western Pennsylvania. And if working voters in Western Pennsylvania, in Southern Michigan, and different parts of Wisconsin feel in any way compelled to show up because Vance is on the ticket and he's someone who understands working people, then it's a help for the Trump campaign. But he's being attacked, and he's going to have his record questioned, his statements questioned. Governor Andy Beshear of Kentucky saying he's not a real representative of people who come from Appalachia or people who come from the industrial Midwest. So welcome to Major League Baseball and politics, Senator Vance. But he's not going to wash out, from what I've been told from Trump allies, because the drama of this is dramatic on social media, but this is no Tom Eagleton 1972.
A reference to the 18 days served by the Democratic nominee for vice president. Final question for you, Bob. There was a checklist of things that Vice President Harris had to do immediately in that first week. A lot of people think that she took care of that checklist. What's on the checklist now for the second week, for this period between the sugar high of the first few days and then, of course, the Democratic convention?
I have an interesting answer to this in the sense of everyone's talking about vice presidential picks. Okay, understandable. It's interesting. But to me, based on my conversations with top Democrats, the number one thing on her to-do list is labor. President Biden has spent so much time, and he spent a career building a relationship with organized labor to make sure that they're showing up in Michigan, they're showing up in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. I mean, so much of the campaign has been about him going to union halls just to say, you better come out. You've come out for me since 1972. You better come out for me again. If she in any way sees a deflation of support among organized labor members, she's going to have a very tough time winning those key battleground states. So for her, it's about keeping that Biden coalition together. Yes, she has enthusiasm. Yes, it could draw new people in, but it's going to be about organized labor at the end of the day in many of these places.
Robert Costa keeping his eye on the ball in Washington. Bob, thank you.
Thanks, John.